Hi, for today's video we're focusing on clicks. They're mouth noises that you hear in an audio file and they need to go. So I have some examples here. We will use this to zoom in. Now I always use Spectral View when I'm working with clips. That's this down here because as you can see, I can see the audio waves up here, but I can't see noise in them so well. This Spectral View gives me a picture of what noises are there and how loud they are based on their brightness. And so you can make Spectral View come up with that. You can also drag it from the bottom. And so you can adjust how much of Spectral View you see. I like it about like this. And then you just play it and you listen, but while you're listening, you're watching down here to see if you see any straight lines. Straight, vertical lines is what we're looking for.
The more stressful it is for them.
Okay, so I heard something. Did you hear that? I'll play it again.
It is for them.
It's on the word them. Now, I see a series of lines, and I saw some lines earlier, but if you don't hear something, it could be some other noise. So you don't want to erase every up and down line that you hear, just the ones with the clicks. And as you get more and more used to hearing clicks, you'll start to hear more. But these lines give me a clue there may be a noise there. So I'm going to play it again.
It is for them.
So I know it's not that one.
Them. So
And I'm hearing it back here. So I'm just going to color in this area. And make sure your Band-Aid tool up here is selected when you color it in.
it's for them. So
And that's called healing. Now, I still hear something, and I'm suspicious of this line up here, so I'm just going to go ahead and color that in too.
it is for them. So
But I believe it's back here.
them. So
Okay, I think it's gone.
it is for them. So
I think I can still hear it a small bit. So
it is for them. So
okay, so you just keep going, and as you go, make sure that it's making the sound better. If it's ever getting worse, Control Z or come down here to your history and back up. Otherwise, just keep moving forward and erasing more and more stuff until it's gone. If you hear it and you see it, it needs to go. If you hear it, it really needs to go. And so zoom in and try to see if you can see it. If you see it but don't hear it, it may not need to go. It just depends. Listen back again to see if you can see it. Okay.
so we really don't want to use this.
Okay, I heard something on we really don't want to use.
Really don't want to use.
So I'm going to zoom in. These are my options here. Which one does it look like it is?
Really don't want to.
It's this one based on the timing of my little cursor there.
Really don't want to use the
And now it's gone. So hopefully you heard that. If not, as you get more practice, you'll get used to hearing it.
shelter as a long.
Okay, and there's another one. I see it, and then I hear it.
Use the shelter as a long.
Okay, and it's kind of hard to hear because she's talking, but right in there, you hear kind of a flick sound.
Use the shelter as a long-term.
Okay, and then on long term, I see it, and then I hear it,
Shelter as a long-term.
and you just color it in.
Shelter as a long-term house.
Now let me demonstrate to you why you don't want to just color in anything. Let's see. Color this in.
Use the shelter as a long-term housing.
Okay, well that's a bad example. Did you hear it on housing? Housing flick?
Long-term housing.
It's right there.
Long-term housing solution for them. We recently started a foster program. So
Okay. Did you hear that double breath? That's something to look for in Spectral View too, because you can
foster
hear
program. So
breathe, breathe. So if I'm going to delete a double breath, I'll just choose the breath that looks funniest. There's a complete breath, and then it goes to some shade. And here's another breath, and it goes to some shade. I'll highlight that and delete it.
So do you have a lot of animals?
Okay, that one on my voice. And it's very bright.
Have a lot of animals.
Hopefully you heard that. Lot of, and it's a flick sound. And just color it in.
You have a lot of animals.
I heard it on half too, so that's probably that line right there.
Do you have a lot of animals being fostered right now? We have
Okay, this is interesting. She does a smack sound while I'm talking. And I could try to highlight and delete it because it's probably that spike right there.
fostered right now.
And that sounds good. Another thing you can do is you can color it in down here to try to make it go away.
Fostered right now.
Oh, didn't.
Being fostered right now. We have
Okay, and that solved it too. So there are two options. You could try to highlight it and delete it, but if I was in the middle of a word and said an important syllable that needed to be there, probably best to try to color in Spectral View.
We have, right now we've really been focusing on our kittens because...
Okay, I'm going to follow so I can always see.
Kittens, because the kittens...
Okay, there's a series of clicks here, and I can see them, and I can hear them. Okay. And I'm also just, this one is in a space, and if they're in a space, you don't have to color it in. You could just highlight and delete that spot because it's not even on a word.
That we're getting.
And actually, we don't even need that noise there. But here, I see more lines. Again, don't just color the lines. Only if you hear something do you need to color those lines.
That we're getting in.
There's a bit of hesitation there. That's probably that noise. So highlight and delete.
That we're getting in are really too young to be coming to a shelter, so their immune systems are really, really susceptible. However, our live release rate is...
Okay, there was something on release. So I zoom in.
Live release rate.
And this is the brightest thing I see. There's also that, but if I watch for the timing,
live release rate,
it's right here. So I'm going to color that in.
Our live release rate is...
And now it's gone. Get in the practice of hearing these, and then you can easily fix them just by zooming in, finding the line, and coloring it.
Significantly lower because they're staying there.
Yeah, and so I saw this one coming, and then you hear it on staying.
Staying there.
And so get rid of that.
Staying there.
But I still hear something, and I think that is what this line's responsible for. It's on the there.
Staying there. And we get some fantastic animals in.
Oop, on animals.
Fantastic animals in.
Okay. So be suspicious of every line, but don't color every line until you hear that click.
Fantastic animals in.
Some of them I make the names on them, and some of them just have the...
Okay. Here's a series.
And some...
Okay. It's like 4 lines right there. You can actually hear multiple clicks.
The names on them, and some of them just have designs of like how long...
Okay. Here's another series of clicks. It's a lot of clicks. So let me show you another way that you could possibly get rid of these. You could highlight this and go to Click Remover. And you can see that dulled some of the clicks down. Now let's listen back.
Designs of like how long they were.
Okay, so sometimes that works to get rid of sound. Now did you hear that other sound in here?
Of like how long.
There's a noise right in here. And of course we can't see it on the wave, but we do see this. And so that's probably what's responsible for that noise.
Of like how long they were.
That dulled it down. It didn't completely get rid of it.
Of like how long they were.
And there's a click right there.
Like how long they were in the program.
What makes you want to invest time into making quilts?
Okay. And then we have it on time.
Into making quilts. Invest time into...
Okay, and you can actually see it up here in this case. And so you could highlight and delete that.
You want to invest time into making quilts.
Well, I'm not going to say who the family is.
Okay. On not.
Well, I'm not going to say.
Right there.
Not going to say who.
Color in that.
Not going to say who the family is right now.
Oop. On right now. Again, if it's in a space, you could just highlight and delete that space and you don't have to worry about coloring. Now you got to be careful when you're coloring in Spectral View, because if I zoom all the way out and color this,
in the program.
What makes you want to invest?
you heard that muffled sound. That's one problem. Another problem is Adobe doesn't like it. Adobe doesn't like when you color too much of Spectral View all at once, and it will start to get upset, shut down. Well, actually, it'll stop working, and then you'll have to close it down and reopen it, and it should open up the file back where you left off. But it just wastes some of your time. So always make sure you're zooming in when you're coloring.
Well, I'm not going to say who the family is right now yet, but I...
Okay, there it is, right before yet.
Yeah, but
it's not in a space, so we got to color down here.
Oh, yeah, but I am making a current nice and cozy.
Okay, nice and cozy has a lot. You can see all these lines. Maybe we want to try the click remover on this. And the reason I didn't show you the click remover first is because it's not very reliable at getting out specific clicks. So
Nice and cozy.
yeah, like you can still hear a lot on nice.
Nice and cozy.
The daily
But that fixed it.
60-second show with fascinating statistics and information.
And here we go on
Statistic.
So you can use a combo of trying the click remover, but always listen back after you do any edit.
Fascinating statistics,
Still on fascinating.
fascinating statistics and information about America's people.
And America's people. I'll leave that one for you to do. And I hope this video has been helpful at letting you understand what kind of sounds to listen back to and what kind of sounds to edit out.